Hey guys, today is the 11th of May. I've got something like 6 or 7 weeks left here in Belfast. And, things are coming along fine. I've just secured a new long term accommodation for myself. I should be moving in before next Sunday. I should be moving in around like Friday or Saturday of next week. So that is cool. You'll see me just having landed in the new house. So that's basically one of the key things I want to achieve. Right now, while I'm in Belfast, I have it down to like two more things I want to do. I want to sell my plastic, and then ideally throw this party, but I don't need to throw the party. I could throw it in possibly in July. I'll be passing through briefly in between Canada and going back to Kenya. So basically, I've been kind of wallowing around. I'm not sure if you've noticed, last week's entry was not my best work, let's say. But it's because I updated the thing. So I was learning the new recording software. I'm not convinced it has a huge impact on anything. But there it is. I think I'm going to... Basically, at this point, I'm going to grab up a bunch of Eastern Europeans. But basically, at this point in the game, what I want is to have the other guys take over all my cracked control points, because I'm not getting the resources from the cracked control points. So, like, half of my... Here's how much boost income Kazakhstan's producing, here's how much I get of it, because it's half not being earned. So I want someone to attack Kazakhstan, and then also my other key cracked points are Saudi Arabia, France, and Belgium. But Belgium, I'm going to have trouble defending it. Even this Czech Republic one, potentially. Whereas Spain, I'm happy to leave it cracked, a bit like Nigeria. But what I'm going to do is grab up a bunch of Eastern Europeans, because that will push up my red number over here. And the higher over the limit I am on these points over here, the easier it is for other groups to take over my control points. So if I push that number up way high, then it makes it easy for them. They'll be tempted to come and break open my control points. Then all these Eastern Europeans, I'm just going to be working on building up their money like I'm doing right now in Bulgaria. And then a lot of that money will end up coming to France and building up their... So this number here is how much the funding. This is like charities designed for helping us fight the aliens, so we build them. So I'm building up charities' income in Eastern Europe until then when they've attacked a few of my points, I can abandon Eastern Europe, and I'm still getting a good amount of that funding money because it flows through the EU. So that's more or less what I'm doing with those two. I mentioned last time I'd quite like to grab a bunch of support in America, so that's what I'm doing with. In fact, Maxim is coming to America for the first time as well, because it's getting easier as I own Mexico and Canada, and hopefully you can't hear the train. But this is a very good thing to have. It gives me red income, it gives me defensibility of the Americans. If someone makes a play for America, I want to make sure... Ideally, I want to own the dominant seat in America to make sure they don't declare war and all sorts. Kind of like how the servants of the aliens are controlling the executive of Russia. I want to be doing something like that for America, so that's where I stand with that. And then my final guy, I will continue to stabilize. I think it's a good idea. A few nations need stabilized, in particular Spain, and not necessarily, and theoretically France. Like, I think it's a bit over 0. Yeah. But it is going towards 0. But Spain could do a stabilization. But I'm going for Saudi. So this is it. I'm not doing anything too major. I'm kind of hoping he breaks open my control points, then I can solidify my control. So in the real world, what I am doing is I'm working on achieving these few key things. I basically have put together now a plan for the rest of this year, which is I'll leave here in July. I'll go back to Kenya. I mentioned in Kenya I have this trees game coming along. I also have my factory coming online. If I can make the sale here, I will need to put together a first container of product to ship. And then that'll ship to Belfast. So I come back to Kenya, I get the container ready, and then it gets on its little boat. It starts running through the Houthi lands. And then I fly to Belfast. I switch over to receiving it. I work on basically the customs and the logistics alongside my customer to get the product into his hot little hands. And then hopefully by Christmas the product will have landed. My family's thinking of coming here for Christmas. And then I'll have my house here. I might next year upgrade my house to a permanent one alongside Ryan. I'm not sure yet. Another thing that I'll put right now on the record is, remember a few months back or a few weeks back, whatever it was, I was talking about a customer in London, and I've kind of been ignoring her. She hasn't reached out, of course, because I need her money, but I'm waiting for my accountant here to finish up his job. Then I will sick him on her. There's some work that needs to be done, but he's being very slow. I'm trying to buy a second truck in Kenya, and that should be fairly important. Okay, I am achieving a few... I'm starting to build up my rocketry technology because we go into space. So high thrust probes. I've been building my space labs, but I'm now switching over to building some rockets, right? So the key ones, the one I just got was key, this one is key, and these are the ones I want to get before we get to the moon. Basically, before humanity makes a play to colonize the moon, which will be the next step. I'm thinking about I might end this season of this diary around the time we first explore the moon. There's a couple of other things I wanted to show you. My life here still isn't so full of excitement that I'm rocked down, but I don't have any time to talk to you. But I do, it is starting to pick back up. I have a new plan to get all my timing in order. I told you about that. Here's some key aspect of the game is this. And these past few turns, I've been pushing up my... Okay. Every time I sing, every time I do these publicity campaigns, it pushes up this number. And right now, tied with the servants. Okay, Saudi Arabia is great. But this directly translates to how much red income I get. So I kind of want to be miles ahead of all the other humans. Oh, look at that, a critical success in America. Fantastic! So that's one I wanted to show you. I also want to jump out back into space a little bit. And that's... also, I mean, that's a very strong showing in America. That's enough to push up. Not really, but I'm close to the 2.3 mark right now, basically. The other thing I wanted to show you is up here in space. There's 4... So the aliens have been sending out these scout probes, and then when a scout probe finishes its mission, instead of going home to refuel, they just... Because we're in, the bottom of the inner planets and at the bottom of the gravity well, so they just toss their probes down the well to land on Earth. But one thing that has changed, in the normal game I never pay attention to this, but because I have enough extra time, I can. And they have this Victor 7 and Victor 8 are not scout probes, they are colony ships. And they are on their way to 2 moons here, which are... Triton and Ariel. And Triton and Ariel are Uranus and Neptune. So the aliens are already starting to leave the Oort cloud and colonize Uranus and Neptune. So far they only rule Kalar. They have 1 base on the moon, 2 bases on Kalar. I'm running out of time. I'm going to need to speed this up. And also, one circling around. Montreal. Okay. Public opinion is good. I mean, this is a mixed blessing, basically. Alright, I can push over 10 now with my new thing. And this is very nice. Yeah, with my new recording software, I don't get cut off at the 10-minute mark, so I'm pushing a bit further this time. But I'll try not to make a habit of it. I think 10 is a pretty good number. Okay, Lithuania. I'm going to speed this up. Alright, I control Lithuania now. You can see this has gone down. Open research. I will get space tugs, but I won't invest as much. And I've lost a control point in Kazakhstan. So this is great news. I'm wanting to lose these broken control points, because now I can reconquer it. So let me play around next turn. Maybe I'll sacrifice Lithuania or not. I'm not sure. But it's been already over 11 minutes for the second time. And with that, I will take my leave. See you next time.